my name is Tori. This is Novel Life. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a brand new reading vlog where I'm stepping out of my comfort zone just a little bit, just a tiny little bit, and we're going to read some gothic horror thriller books in this reading vlog for the historical fiction readathon. So every couple of months, me and Christy from Christy Reads a Lot, we will host a historical fiction readathon where we just read historical fiction because we love that. We have a book club. It's called Leave It to the Pros Book Club. So every couple of months we do that. For a whole week we read historical fiction. But since it's spooky season and it's October, I have my Salem, Massachusetts, established in 1926 sweatshirt on today because it's very fitting since it's the first day of the historical fiction readathon. We decided to do a more like spooky themed, so thriller, horror, in a historical setting, gothic fantasy, gothic historical romance. All of that is encompassed for this readathon. So I'm very excited. I have 5 books picked out. I don't know if I'm going to get through all 5 books this week. I want to slow down my reading just a little bit because I feel like sometimes I'm always like running after the next book, like chasing after the next book. So I want to get through the book that I'm in the middle of, even though I'm enjoying it, just to get to the next thing, if that makes sense. So slowing down my reading a little bit, but I'm gonna go through my TBR really quickly with you. So our group book is Upon a Starlit Tide by Kell Woods. This one I'm very intrigued by. I am so excited because it is set in France, 1758, and she is a daughter of a wealthy French ship owner, and her dream is escaping her elegant but stifling home. So she goes on a ship, and then one stormy morning, her plans are blown away. So I think this is more of like a Little Mermaid read. It says it's a dark, enchanting historical fantasy combined with elements of The Little Mermaid and Cinderella into a wholly original tale of love, power, and betrayal. So I think this has a little bit more of a romance subplot. Very, very excited for this one. The next one I have is Mistress of Lies by K.M.N. Wright. This is more of a gothic, I want to say historical fantasy, but with a horror element or a paranormal element, because it says a villainous heroine finds herself plunged into a seductive world of power, politics, and murder in the court of the Vampire King in this bloodthirsty debut in a new fantasy romance. So, like I said, this is more romance subplot as well, vampires, kind of horror-esque. Very excited for this one. Now this one is definitely just a horror, I guess, historical. It's Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen. So I've had some people read this, but I'm excited because it's set in the Netherlands, 1887. Apparently her twin is unwell, and I guess she's turning into a vampire. That's my guess. And I don't know if this has any romance in it, but it's relatively short. The audiobook's only 9 hours, so this might be one that I get to. And then the last one of the other ones I have is All of Us Murderers by KJ Charles. So this is a YA LGBTQ thriller, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if there's any romance, but it's kind of like a Knives Out retelling. This is also relatively short. This is a new book that I have. I do want to mention these 4 books that I have are all from Aardvark Book Club. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but the Aardvark symbol is all like blended into all of the books, and I really love that. I do have a code. This is not sponsored, but I do have a code if you want to save money off your first Aardvark Book Club box. It's Novel Life. I'll have it linked in the description box below. I really like Aardvark because I got all these books just in the last couple of months, and they're perfect for spooky season. Now the last book I have to read, which is one that I started last night, is Night on the Moth by Rachel Gillig. So this one I'm really excited for. I did try listening to the audiobook in May when it came out. I had an ALC of it through Libro FM, and I did not like just listening to the audiobook. I don't know if it was her writing, if the narrators, all of that, but I wanted to give it another try because this is like gothic fantasy. Perfect for this week. And it's more set in a historical time, like there's kings. It's just set in more of like a fantasy world, so I'm counting it for the historical fiction readathon. I did get about 11% into this book. I didn't have a bookmark, so I used the dust jacket. But what I am doing with this book is I'm listening to the audiobook and reading along. Now, a lot of people will think, oh, Rachel Gillig, One Dark Window. The writing style for this book and that book are completely different. And I think that's what tripped me up with the audiobook, because I expected what the audios were for One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. That's not saying that this is not going to be a good book. It's just slightly different. It's definitely set in a historical time, so they talk a little differently. But I'm so far liking it. Our female character is a diviner. She's 6. That's her name. She's one of 6 diviners. Basically, they are drowned and then they dream, and they can kind of tell the fortune based on this like fantasy magic system, God's world. They're called omens. So each omen is like, it has a specific symbol and item. So there's a coin, there's an inkwell, stuff like that. And there's 5 of them. The 6th one, it doesn't necessarily have an item. That's the omen. So there's 6 diviners for 6 omens, and they, you know, you can come to the cathedral to pay, and you get to have your, you know, it's basically like a fortune telling type thing. So all the 6 diviners you see, they are welcoming the new king, and he is a young boy king. That's what they call him. He's like 16 or 17. He is coming to get his fortune told. And you see that when he comes, all of the omens that he gets are all 5 of them are bad. But there is one night that catches our female character's attention. He like storms out before she actually is drowned to do the king's reading. And so you see that, I don't know how much is a spoiler, I don't want to say, but 10% in, they're basically like, I want you to take me and my sisters, like the other 5 diviners, out on the town. Basically, we want to see outside the cathedral. And the knight's like, fine, I'll do it, because they were caught doing something bad. So this is an interesting start. It's not what I expected, but I'm very intrigued by it. I do like the writing style. It takes a little bit, like I said, to kind of like get into, only because it's different. So I'm going to continue reading this today. I do have reading sprints on my channel with Christy from Christy Reads a Lot. So we'll see what I get up to this week, what books I read. I hope I get to all 5. I'm probably honestly not gonna get to all 5. It's probably not gonna happen, but I'm really excited for all these books. If I don't get to them this week, they're definitely on my TBR for October, so I will continue on and reading them into next week. But let's get this reading vlog started. Hello, I wanted to give an update before I get in bed. Hi mommy. I have like about 80 pages left in this book, and I figured I would update you guys just really quickly because I don't know how this book is gonna end, and I don't know what my rating's gonna be. And usually by like this point in the book, like 80% into a book, I usually have what my rating's gonna be, like what I'm gonna rate it, how I'm gonna rate it, like a general idea. And I'm going between either a 3-star or a 4-star. Like I'm literally going back and forth, and it could go either way. And I'm trying to figure out why that is. And I think maybe because with this book, I had the expectation of the same writing style from One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. And I feel like it is different in this book. Her writing style is different. But I'm not like hating the story, if that makes sense. It's just, I don't want to call it slow moving because it's not slow moving, but basically the whole point of this book is that they're going from kingdom to kingdom. I wouldn't say kingdom, like area to area, like part of the kingdom, the Stonewater Kingdom. They're going in like different areas in Stonewater Kingdom and finding the omens who have the like items. So there's like the coin, the inkwell, the ore, the chime, and that's like they're trying to like gather them. You see the reason why she's going with them is because she has figured out that the rest of her diviners have gone missing. And the abbess who's in charge of them at the cathedral is like, oh, they've just left on their own, like, you know, their own time. And she's like, no, I know that they would not do that. What is happening? And you see that she goes with the king, the boy king as they call him, because he's like 17, and the rest of the knighthood. And they go on this journey because the knights and the king, well, the king in particular, they're trying to gather all of these items. And so while she's going on this journey, she's also learning about the diviners and learning more history about Stonewater Kingdom and stuff like that from like the king's grandfathers, like previous kings, because they've left like notes and stuff. So like I'm interested. It is very, is whimsical the right word? I don't know if whimsical. There's like creatures, there's like slightly horror aspects, like some of the omens have like fangs as teeth, which is super interesting and like kind of horror-ish, like slightly. You have like sprites in here, some are small, some are big, some are creepy, some are bad, like they attack you and stuff like that. So there's like all of these different things, and I'm intrigued. but I'm like, I feel it's missing something. It's missing something in my soul, and I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it. Like, I like the little romance. They kind of like are bantering and stuff like that throughout this book. Like the gargoyles, like the humor part of it, where he'll like, there's one part where he's like, oh, you're in love with her. Why don't you just tell her? And she's like, what are you talking about? No, he's not in love with me. And she's like, and the gargoyle's like, oh, you're in love with him then. And they're like, no, that's not it either. So like they have moments where like he's super, the knight, one of the knights that's with the king is like super protective. I kind of like this like found family aspect we're getting with the gargoyle, with Six, like the diviner, with the knights, like two of the knights, which is Rory and Maud. Rory and Maud is her name, I think it is. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And then the king, Dingy, like they're all kind of, they have this like now found family aspect. So I'm liking that part. It's like lacking something, and I don't know what that is. And it's not like a major lack, but it's not like, ooh, I'm obsessed, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna continue reading the last like 80 pages, and we'll see my reading. I don't know what book I'm gonna start next though, so I'll definitely finish this tonight, and I'll probably pick up a new book tomorrow. I just don't know what that book's gonna be, but I hope my thoughts make sense because I've been sitting with them for a little bit. I waited to update you guys when I had only a little bit, because I was like, I don't really know where this is going. I do like the story of her like breaking free. She's a diviner. She's been under like the abyss and like has just been told like, do this your whole life. I've made it better for you. You were a foundling. Like, forget your name, everything. So like I like that part of it. I like that she's finally getting free and she's finally doing different things, and she's like exploring and things that she told her other diviners. Like, I see them as like sisters, but her other diviners, they said, oh, we would always explore and stuff like that. So I'm liking that part, but I'm missing something. So I'm still trying to like see, hopefully the ending of this book will like click everything in together and be like, oh, this is what I was missing. It's just slower with that because it's like a book one in a series. I don't know if it's a duology, but it does say the Stonewater Kingdom book 1. So I don't know how many books. I think book 2 is already up on Goodreads. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I will probably update you guys tomorrow once I finish this book and I pick up another book. But try new genre, subgenre, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Hello everyone. We're in my bedroom because that's where I want to be right now. I just put on some makeup. Today, the work day has driven me insane. The amount of things that just have gone wrong that is like out of my control. I'm like, why can't this happen? It's so crazy. Misi's behind me. She is laying behind me. I have a pretty big reading update for you on these two books. So I finished Night in the Moth. I don't even know. I didn't update anything yesterday because I fear that I'm in a reading slump. And that's not the best thing for me right now, because none of the books I want to read for this readathon is hitting. So anyway, I finished this book and I think I'm going to give it like a 3.5 star. I think that's a solid... You gonna sniff my books? I think that's solid for me. It's a 3.5 star. There was... The beginning was so interesting, and then we kind of go on this journey with our character, and she's traveling and she's with this boy king, and I just felt like there was something missing, and I don't know what it is. Like I haven't been able to pinpoint it even from like sitting on my thoughts for a day. I still haven't... You gonna lay right here? No? Okay, bye. I still haven't been able to like pinpoint my thoughts and like why there's something missing from this book, but there's something is for me. And I don't know if that's because I was coming off of Alchemized when I read this book. I don't know if I was coming off of like I'm going into a reading slump. I don't know what it is, but I gave this book 3.5 stars, and I feel bad because I've waited since May to read this book and it just hasn't hit. It just hasn't hit. And I'm like, is it her writing? She did change her writing style from the Shepherd King duet to this, so I don't know. If you read this, please let me know in the comments. I did try to read Blood on Her Tongue, and I got about 20% in. The first 20% was good. First 20% was intriguing. I was hooked. I was like, okay. And then there was just like, I don't want to spoil it because I don't know anything about this book and I don't know if it's like prevalent, but there was a part with one of the female characters, Lucy, that we're following. I was like, it just gave me the ick. I don't know what it was. if you've gotten to that part, it's the very end of chapter 6, if I'm not mistaken. It's the very end of chapter 5. I was like, this came out of nowhere, and this is not the kind of horror historical I was thinking. So fortunately I DNF'd this one. I don't know, I just got the ick of that part, and I was like, I can't get this out of my head. And yeah, so those are the two that I've DNF'd. I did try to listen to the audiobook of the group book, and I did not like the narrator. She sounded too whimsical, like Kitty, and I know it's supposed to be YA, but she sounded like she was like 12. Dogs are barking, so sorry about that. She sounded about 12. So I don't know if I'm gonna read the group book, but what I did is I picked up Mistress of Lies. That's my book that I'm gonna read. I have reading sprints with Christy tonight on her channel for the readathon. So I got about 10%. Was it 10%? How far did I get? I actually have the ebook from the library. I got 7% in. And it's interesting. The premise is interesting. She literally slits her father's throat in the first chapter, and she kills him to take over the family. And she's like, I don't know if my brother's gonna be into this, like if he's gonna be on board. Her brother has a lover, and I guess it's looked down upon, or it has been looked down upon. It has been looked down upon by her father, but that guy helps her slit her father's throat. Well, like clean up the bodies, I should say. So she's like, I don't know how my brother's gonna react to this, but we shall see. I think there's something with the Blood King, or like the Vampire King, that comes for her, and there's some like some stuff about that. But like I said, I'm only 7% in, and I wasn't hating it, so we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna see how far I get. But I have not liked any book. Like, it's been over a day since I've read anything, and nothing is hitting for me, and it makes me really sad. So I'm hoping that reading sprints pull through. This Mistress of Lies might be my last book. I don't even know if I'm going to try the group book, but I guess this is what happens when you try something new, guys. When you try something new and try new subgenres, and you try new genres, and they might not work out for you. But I will say Gothic fantasy is my thing, and The Night in the Moth was not my favorite, so I don't know what's happening. Am I a reading slump? Could be. Could be. Anyway, I'm going to go get ready for reading sprints, and I might chat with you after reading sprints, see how far I get, but dear God, I hope I get out of this slump. So, sorry if this vlog is not very exciting. Guys, things are not going good in the garden. Not going good in the garden over here. I literally, if you're watching this vlog, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is up with me. I don't know what's up with me, okay? But let me explain this. My reading time is literally like my escapism. It's my happy place. When I sit down and read, it is my decompression for the day. It is my let's get ready for bed. Let's have some me time for like an hour or two before I go to bed, okay? That's my time. Husband's not even in the room. Dogs aren't even in the room. Cats are in the room. Cats are allowed. But like, it's just me and my time, okay? And all week, it is now Thursday night, okay? Just got off reading sprints with Christy. Love Christy. Love reading sprints, okay? Love chatting with everyone. But it's all week, all freaking week, every night when I've laid down to read, nothing is hitting. Nothing is hitting for me. Nothing. None of the books I'm reading I want to read. I went through 4 books last night, technically. I know I updated you and said I finished The Night in the Moth, and then I started and DNF'd Blood on Her Tongue. I tried Fairy Tale, and I was like, we're not even going to dive into this because it's a 31-hour audiobook. I'm not ready for that hefty book. I decided to try and pick up some gothic fantasy or gothic romance I found, and I was like, this is not hitting either. Literally, I tried like a chapter of a couple of different things, and I returned them to Kindle Unlimited, which once again why I love Kindle Unlimited. And I'm just telling you right now, I'm gonna put this one to the side. I got 15% in, so I'm about 50 pages in. This is more romantic-y than like gothic historical, which is totally fine. It has gothic vibes. It's vampires. And while I am excited for this one, it's like, how do I say this? It's caught my attention, but I'm like, am I really gonna force myself to read this just for the sake of the readathon right now? When I'm like interested, but I'm not dying and loving it? Does that make sense? Like, am I really gonna do that? Like, I have to take a shower. It's about to be my 2 hours of me time sitting down and reading. Am I really about to go lay down to read this book when I'm not really that invested? Like, it's interesting, but I'm not invested. No, I can't do that. I'm gonna put myself into a reading slump. There's no way. There's no way I can do that. This will be the 1, 2, 3, 4 books that I've tried. And I will say, I started the group book, right? Once Upon a Starlight Tide. I did read this. I got like, I don't even know. Where's my phone? How far did I get into the audiobook? The audiobook, I hate the narrator. I did not like the narrator. Her voice was like nails on a chalkboard to me. I don't know why, because I've listened to other stuff by this author. I got 10% into this book last night. I was just sitting in bed listening to the audiobook, and the premise is okay. Our female character, you see that she's her father's favorite, and like all this stuff like that, and she has like chronic pain, like her feet are deformed a little bit, which I always love chronic pain rep and stuff like that in books. But there was like, I did not like the narrator, and if I don't have an audiobook right now, it's not going to hold me, and it's not going to hold my attention. So I looked at some reviews, and they did say that it is YA, which is totally fine, and her voice is slightly young, but it sounds like nails on a chalkboard to me. But then people said that when the main male character is introduced, her voice for the main male character sounds like a 65-year-old man. So, to be fair, I am going to put those to the side. Because I need to read something that brings me joy, because while I do create content and reading books for content, it can be fun, I'm picking up things that I'm not liking. So we're going to tried and true Lovely War. So I was actually inspired once again to pick up this book. This is like my old tabs. Do you see how old? These are like huge tabs that I tabbed when I was like, I read this book back in 2020, 2021. So Christy's actually reading this for the readathon, even though this is not gothic. It's not anything, but you know, we're just going with it, okay? This vlog is just, I need something, okay? But this book is one of my all-time favorite books. I talk about it all the time. I've not reread it, but Christy said that the audiobook for this has like music before every chapter. And this was actually, I read this before I even like listened to audiobooks, which is so crazy because I feel like I've been listening to audiobooks for so freaking long. But yeah, I read this so long ago, and I remember absolutely sobbing at the end of this book. Like I could not talk trying to tell my husband what was going on in this book and like why I loved it so much. So I'm gonna reread this one. I'm gonna put on the audiobook. I've been dying to reread a favorite. When I'm feeling slumpy, that's what I do. So while this is still historical fiction, we're just rereading. And I'm very interested to see what I tabbed, because I don't even remember what I tabbed. Okay, this is just tabbing a whole page. Okay, good job, Tori, tabbing a whole page. Like, we have come so far in our annotations. But yeah, I'm just gonna pick up the audiobook. I bought the audiobook. I used Audible credit because my library didn't have it. So yeah, we're switching things up. I tried something new. It did not work. I need something that brings me joy. I need something that makes me happy, that makes me love reading again, to where I'm not just reading for the sake of just finishing a book. Like, I want to read amazing books. And usually gothic things are my thing. But maybe gothic is not my word now. Or maybe I'm just not in a gothic mood. Could be that. I'm not in a gothic mood. Anyway, I'm literally going to go and get ready for bed so I can have some me time, and I'm going to start Lovely War. And I don't know what else I'm going to do in this vlog. I'm not making any promises. We're literally taking things day by day, hour by hour in this house right now, okay? With reading. So, tomorrow's another day. Who knows what can happen. Hello, I am here to close out this reading vlog. Lovely War. This reading vlog was probably the hardest reading vlog I've filmed in a very, very long time. And I'm very surprised I didn't trash it. So if you made it this far, just leave me some clapping hands emojis, okay? I made it this far. I posted this vlog. I wasn't going to post it. I was going to trash it. But I was like, you know what? People need to see that sometimes reading just doesn't work for every single person. Like, some books just don't work, okay? And sometimes you just have to reread a favorite. So I reread this. I loved it. I laughed my ass off at some points. I love this book. I know Julie Berry doesn't have a lot of books that are like this. She writes like children's books or something. I don't know. I need her to write more like this. Like, this book came out in 2019 and it's still one of my all-time favorites. I just love it so much. I love the love story. I love that the Greek gods are telling it. I love this like trial aspect of like the Greek gods being on trial basically for something. And I love that Aphrodite is the goddess of love and she's telling these two love stories. I love the two love stories. They're heartbreaking and beautiful. And the ending, I did not cry again, but I did like the ending. I love the audiobook. I would say that if you can listen to the audiobook, do that. I So glad Christy told me about this, but yeah, I love this book. It was just an amazing reread. I love it so much, and I love seeing all of my like little tabs. It's just like one of the ones I flipped through. It says, let them start their dreadful wars, let destruction rain down, and let plague sweep through, but I will still be here doing my work, holding humankind together with love like this. I love it. So yeah, that's my wrap up for this vlog. I'm so sorry if you made it this far. You're a saint. You're a saint. But I am slowly making my way out of my reading slump, and I'm very excited. If you made it this far, leave me some clapping hands emojis that I've made it this far, with some pink hearts for Lovely War, because that's my favorite pink book that I own. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for participating in the historical fiction readathon, this spooky edition. Even though we've kind of failed at it, it's fine. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content for me. As always, I hope you're living an love life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.